Karate Kid, Bruce Lee, giving you double vision, don't fear, no mercy, gloves off, try and hurt me, you can't hurt me, you can't hurt me, you can't hurt me. Sweep the leg!
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I am excited to be here. It's great to be back after vacation. Who doesn't love that? So I hope you're doing well this morning. I know it's weird. I know schedules have been changing and we've been doing lots of things. Last week, Jimmy came on at a random time with Jeff. So thank you, Jeff, for always being on. And I should have taken you up on your offer, Jeff, since I was on layover for 5 hours in Baltimore. I should have just said, hey, man, let's hook up and hang out. I didn't get to do that. I'm a nervous. Thank you, Labrat. Morning, Zane. I'm a nervous flyer in the sense of like, if I'm en route, like I know I had 5 hours in Baltimore and I could have probably left and come back and spent a couple hours. I'm just not that person who wants to leave the airport because you just never know, right? I was flying Southwest and I have the app and they do a great job of keeping you up to date and everything along those lines. So, but still, I just wasn't there. I'm never that comfortable. If I'm in the airport, I'm in the airport and I'm going. So, Jeff, maybe next time I'll maybe make a purposeful trip to Baltimore since I've never been there before, and that would knock Maryland off my list. Maybe I'll just fly to Baltimore one time and hang and see the sights and have some crab cakes and go to Jimmy's Seafood or whatever. So I hope y'all are well this morning. Morning, cold-blooded. Good to see you this morning. Glad y'all are here. But some of you may be wondering why I have Remember Rome. For those of y'all who don't know, actually, I was there last weekend. I was in Rome. Did not get to meet Ben Hameen. Unfortunately, he was busy making money moves and being a CEO. But did hang with Triple D, Demetrius Zordos. I got to see the area. It was amazing. Beautiful part of the country that I've never been to before. But the next day, the day after I left on Tuesday, I left on Monday. Tuesday, a massive tornado came through and caused massive amounts of damage to the area. I know Ben Hameen is okay. Triple D and his family are okay. From what I hear, a lot of people who live in the area, they came out okay. But the town is, it took a really big hit. Up in Rome, they have this, there's a base, but it's like a, public access kind of thing. There's an old B-52 on display, static. Obviously the engines are removed, and it's kind of bare bones. You can't get into it, but there's a massive B-52 at a park there. Tornado came, picked up, and moved the entire B-52 and put a hole in the wing. So if that helps you understand the level of devastation and torment that area saw, I hope that helps you kind of visualize. Hey, Zane, I just saw your tweet about won't get discussed on Smack Attack. Look, I'll talk it. I'll talk that talk if you want. All right. I was going to go somewhere else, but hey, let's do it. Jimmy's not here yet. So the question that was posted on Twitter was, do men like going down on a woman, or are you just saying it to impress like women? Personally, me, it's my favorite thing. It's just my favorite thing. Thanks, buddy. I don't know. I guess that's just me. But everybody has their own differences. It's their likes and dislikes, what you don't like and what you do like. Oh, I got a new mic stand, by the way, too. Sorry. I feel really like disoriented this morning. I worked out, I weed eated, and I'm gonna mow. I'm still kind of gathering together. I watched last night, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But I like I like it. It's my favorite thing, but I don't know. What are you guys? Where are y'all at? Since Zane, you're here, let's talk that talk, buddy. Since you think we won't talk it, let's talk that talk. I'm here for it. So, what do you guys think? I was gonna say, maybe it's on Facebook. I saw. I'm trying to look for the pictures that Ben posted about Rome, and maybe that was on Facebook. I thought I saw it on Twitter, but I guess I didn't. Hey, ooh, there he did post a thing about Blaze Haram being at the show last week, and I was there. I was like right there. That's cool. Okay, I guess I don't see it. Okay. Anyway. All right, let me go back to the conversation so I can see what y'all are saying. What are you saying hell not to, bruh? What are you saying hell not to? Are you saying hell nah, that's not your favorite thing? Or hell nah that I'm talking about it, or what? Oh, that's right. That's right. He responded to you with pictures. Let me look at yours, Zane. Yeah, let me look at that. I think it's it was there. Yeah, I saw that. Damn, bro, you got a lot of stuff. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Let me share it just so we can see. I know we were having a conversation about other things, but again, this is some of the things that were shown. So giant trees ripped out, cars overturned, electrical lines. I know there was power outages. I saw where that mural was. I know exactly where that is. It's weird because this is the day after I was there and seeing a lot of this, and I'm going, I know where that is now. I know where that is now. Like it's surreal almost to see that, to see that level of devastation. I mean, granted, I see tornadoes a lot here, but and I know places that I've seen it, but it's especially when you have people there, it brings on a different thing, and all that fun stuff. No, Cold Blooded Jimmy's late because he's not flying back from SmackDown. Because remember, I did bring the storm, Lab Rat. That's just what I do. Because CloudStrike, with their wonderful error on their updates, shut everything down. So Jimmy's probably lost and he's AI. He's probably stuck in the cloud somewhere, because he's AI. So CloudStrike has essentially shut down his programming, in that aspect of it. So you had a movie moment seeing it on the news. I bet, that's that. So interesting. So yesterday, in case everybody knows, CloudStrike, who is a company who does cybersecurity, they sent an update with Microsoft, and apparently there was an error in the code, and that caused 3 major airlines to shut down, plus some financial institutions. So yesterday, I had to pay my insurance for my house and my car, and for sure they got my Progressive through, but they weren't sure about my home insurance, which are due today. But they went through, thankfully. But financial institutions were shut down, travel was shut down, things along those lines, because of an error code. I don't know. I guess I mean, it's probably the case. I know there's a lot of people are like, "Whoa, look, Trump gets assassinated. Now we have this cyber attack." Y2K finally hit. Yeah. Uh, you know, I to me, I think it's just again a matter of coincidences that are interesting to say the least. So, like with the assassination attempt last week, I was with Triple D, and we were at his parents' house, and that came around, and of course the information like we're at the wrestling show, and people are like, "Oh, was it 22?" I'm like, "There's no fucking way it's a 22." With the distance and you could hear the like a 22 doesn't do that, and it wouldn't even penetrate from a distance. And yeah, no, it's not a 22. Like, because no, you would have to be walking up in the frame to do that. No. So it's just interesting how misinformation already was getting out, and then of course the downplaying of certain media outlets of the presenting of the story. But then with this, like yesterday, I'm watching and I'm at the gym, and it's 6:30 in the morning doing cardio, and they have on one screen the news, and it's talking about CloudStrike, how they've created an error and it's caused these shutdowns. And then on the next screen is ESPN, and they're showing the Formula One like practice, laps or whatever. And CloudStrike has sponsored, I guess, the event or something, and there's a giant helmet with CloudStrike's logo right there, and it was just the worst timing you could ever have on everything. It was quite funny. Hey, Revamped, good to see you here. Yeet back to you as well. So, but it's been a wild week. I mean, we've had assassination attempts on would-be presidential nominees. CW McDonald, good to see you. Glad you're here. I feel like you're a new person. I haven't recalled seeing your name before. CW McDonald, thank you for being here. So it's been a wild week between vacation and then Trump stuff and then work and then like, have you ever come back from a short week and it felt longer? I don't know. So, there was something else I want to talk about. Well, one of them I was going to talk about. Jimmy's got to be here because we're going to talk about something specific and it requires a second person. So enough of that. But one thing I did want to talk about today as we get going this morning, interestingly enough, supposedly WWE was on a hiring freeze. And we see this week, we know Hikuleo is coming. We know that maybe a possibility a few other people have been signed. But then we also know Stephanie Vacour has been signed. She of CMLL and former AEW fame, who just lost the titles to Sasha Banks. Apparently, she decided after one match with AEW, nah, we're going to go. I found that interesting that we're having a hiring freeze per se, and yet here we have a whole bunch of people either speculated to be signed or they're signed. Now, granted, we don't know when the hiring freeze was announced, and then these people could have already been in contract negotiations when that was said, and then they finished them out to bring them on. So maybe we don't see any signings for a while. And of course, Stephanie Vacour is going to NXT. That's where she will be making her appearance, along with Julia, who has been signed. Well, I say she's been signed, but Julia's with Marigold, and Marigold has that working relationship with WWE, just like Noah and All Japan and a few others, like I think AAA, stuff like that. So WWE is making international partnerships as well. So that means we'll see talent on top of TNA making that. As we saw Joe Hendry this week on NXT, we saw the Rascals all back together, all three. The trio is back together again, and we got the Treehouse on WWE programming, which I found is interesting. Look, I'm going to say this: whatever you think of Triple H, right now, you cannot deny the man is cooking. Him and Shawn Michaels are doing a really good job of telling story and making creative television. I think we see that with the creative that production gets with the camera angles and shots they're taking. Yeah, look, the Rascals Treehouse was great seeing that on there, but I think that's great. I think that but this allows and it raises the level of competition and it makes wrestling attractive for TV because, all right, CW and McDonald, the legitimacy of a Warner Brothers Discovery deal unveiled news from Ringside Thoughts. I don't know the whole thing. I just know this. I know. I don't know if there is a legitimacy or not. Here's the dealio, right? We do know a couple of things. I did see this week that when we already know what's going to be taking the place of SmackDown when that ends. They have decided to do Friday Night Football on Fox to replace SmackDown. So going forward, when the SmackDown deal ends on Fox, and I think it'll be this fall, so SmackDown will not be airing after, I think, September, if I remember correctly, or October. They will be replacing it with a Friday Night Football show that will do college and NFL and things along those lines, and UFL. So there's that aspect of it. Fox has said no, and Fox, but and remember, TV deals like Warner Brothers is probably being overly cautious with AEW because what is AEW giving you in return? And then 2, what is the rate of return? Fox has already said that they lost money with SmackDown, even with the fact that they were the number one in every category for Friday night, bringing in 2 million plus on there. Even though that was happening, Fox lost money. Did Fox overpay? Yes, they did. I mean, let's be honest. And then I don't know what days SmackDown will be on when it goes to USA. That still has not been announced yet, I don't think. Here, let's Google it real quick. All right. They're still going to do it on Friday nights. So SmackDown, when it goes to USA Network, will be on Friday night still. I thought that was the case, but it wasn't. How was it? Yeah, right. Goldblood says WWE having the NFL robot in the war room on their first night on Fox has become first circle. So as of right now, from everything I've seen and what I'm reading, it looks like Friday Night SmackDown will stay on Friday night and when it goes to USA. But Fox has said we are going to lean into football. Football is where our programming is going to be. There's rumor, and because this is apparently where the MLW lawsuit came from, the free version of Peacock Tubi is looking to add wrestling, and MLW was that aspect, and Stephanie McMahon stepped in and mentioned something to Tubi about it and Peacock, which is why they didn't get that deal supposedly back in 2021, and which is where the antitrust lawsuit came from. So there is still talks that Tubi may add professional wrestling to that free Peacock network, and it could be MLW. I find that interesting to say the least. Yeah, and revamp WWE. Well, look, here's the thing about this revamp. WWE is looking to step on all partnerships for AEW, and it's funny to see. AEW has New Japan and has CMLL. It has some of these other relationships. I think with wrestling companies. But if you're WWE, right, you've tried to be international for a long time, and you kind of are, but you want to be in other territories consistently. It makes more sense to partner with companies like New Japan, All Japan, Marigold, who are all Japanese wrestlers. you could provide wrestlers for your show, but you get that pop from it, and then same in turn. So you're giving them WWE style wrestling. So you're making waves in that company without having to expend to like make it NXT Europe or an NXT Britain or whatever, right? So that makes sense. And same with AAA, right? We want to be in Mexico. Let's get into AAA. Let's have Stephanie Vacour be our thing. Stephanie Vacour does not speak English. So that's the other reason why. One, she has done nothing but work, New Japan and CML wrestling, and she only speaks Spanish from my understanding. So put her in NXT. And I know you're saying AEW has screwed AAA, Japan, and TNA. Maybe TNA, but TNA is working with WWE now. So I would say probably not. Yes. So right now, they said USA will still also have Raw on Monday nights until Netflix next year. Hey, morning, Hedrat, Sonic. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, and I agree with you, Revamp. They're showing what a real partnership looks like and how all sides can succeed. I think so, right? TNA is getting a huge bump from this, right? And we're going to see that with All Japan, Marigold. We've already seen that with some of the matches where Shinsuke and AJ have gone over there and brought a big pop. Okay, she does. Look, I listened to a interview with Conan this week, and he says that she doesn't speak English, and that she's going to have to either have a manager or work on improving her language. So, which is fine, which is I think why she goes. So I'm going off what Conan said this week on a podcast. I didn't look more into it. That's what I'm going off of, what Conan has said. And mind you, this was on Eric Bischoff's podcast this week. He had wise choices. So that's I'll do that, but I'll look at that revamped. Okay, all right, and look, that's fine. Look, he's AAA, not CMLL. Okay, cool. I'm not as familiar with how things work down there. I know that they're not buddy down there. I mean, he spoke highly of her, and he said she was great. He said she probably doesn't really speak English, and that she's going to need an interpreter or a manager or something, and that CMLL style is more traditional and not WWE style than AAA. I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm not into the politics of wrestling, as you guys know, but okay. All right. According to Conan, AEW also gave Stephanie the Punk level treatment at Forbidden Door. Okay. I don't know. Look, you guys know I don't follow news or rumors or anything like that. I see a few things every now and then, and I go, that seems interesting. Let's talk about that. And I like more the business aspect of the wrestling business and not the rumor and all that bullshit. So sometimes I rely on things. Yeah, look, I like Conan and Disco, but I agree. And I should have probably taken the source into consideration. That's what it is. And I should have remembered that Sonic. Conan stay talking crap has always been part of his gimmick. Anyway, but I think it's interesting right now that we see partnerships and what they're going to do. I think the other interesting thing I want to talk about is AEW. I know we sometimes a lot of times shit on AEW, but we have All In coming in, right? They have, their 250th show. They were in Little Rock, Arkansas, and not a very big venue. I think the reason for that was because they're starting their residency tonight in Arlington. I will not be there. I will be there next Friday for the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I'm taking my girlfriend. It's her first wrestling show ever. And so she's been asking me to go to wrestling for a while, to go live, so she can kind of understand what my hobby is, which I think is awesome. And so that was the best show I could think of. And I looked at a few dates for the Arlington residency, and I gave her a few, and she chose next Friday. So I will be watching the Ring of Honor pay-per-view next Friday. It should be fun. Hopefully we'll get to see Lance. Hopefully we'll get to see Lady Frost. I've messaged them both and said, hey, I'm going to be there. I'd love for you to meet my girlfriend. It's her first show. And so hopefully we'll get to do something like that. That'll be neat. So I think, this will be an interesting test for AEW because, look, they need to do something about their spending. I think this is smart. The Arlington Esports Arena is a, smaller arena, but you run a lot of shows there. Arlington is right there by the airport. So you can have hotels and everything there. And you're 10, 15 minutes away from the airport. So you have somebody who's coming in for an AEW or a Ring of Honor show that you're running there. They stay at the hotel, or if you need to run them back to the airport that night, you can do that. That's interesting to say the least, to see how money works. I really feel like, the stories and everything are whatever. The wrestling is, for the niche crowd, but they need to start making money. And how are they going to do that? Because they're a TV company who doesn't do really live shows. So in order to do that, this residency thing, I think, makes a lot of sense in that you can leave production at a place for a while. That saves you money on travel and everything like that. Having one central location, you can keep people there. Look, it's Ring of Honor. I know. Like, Lance wrestled this week, and they wrestled, I forget who, and I don't even know. I don't care. Thanks, McDonald. We should have a good time. And Lab Rat, I always forget about ROH, but hey, it's a pay-per-view. It was on a Friday night, and that's the date she chose. So, Sonic. Watch them do the cringy stuff just because you and her are there. Yeah, I have a feeling Tony might do that. That would have been fun. The TNA show tonight, great stuff. Hey, Jerome, good to see you, buddy. I hope you're having a good time. Interesting. Right, Sonic? Like, I love wrestling, right? And then you tell somebody and you take them to a show or you watch something, and then the worst things happen right when you're doing it. It's like that with that meme, like me when I watch wrestling, and it's like Stone Cold beating the shit out of somebody, right? And then when my parents walk in the room and it's a bra and panties match, right? From the 90s. It's like, oops, this isn't wrestling. So it is their it is their pay-per-view, though. It's the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, I believe. So I'll be interested to see what happens. I don't really keep up with Ring of Honor. I think Mark Briscoe is the champ still. I don't know. So good morning, Canada Spaceman. Look, bra and panty matches aren't bad. And revamp. I'm a closeted wrestling fan. Hey, come out the closet, baby. Come out the closet. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I think it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I think that's the thing, though, right? Yeah, whether you like it or not, there's a lot to be watched. Tubi maybe getting live, maybe getting wrestling. CW has wrestling. We've got wrestling on a lot of different places. And I think, again, at the end of the day, we as fans want wrestling to be healthy, and we want options. Gone are the days of WWE being the only option without having to pirate or watch video or, watch a YouTube channel or whatever. We have legitimate wrestling on TV, and I think that it's a really good thing. Look, I'm not gonna say they diehard fans are wrestling, because look, we were talking to my girlfriend. She saw some stuff. She's like, oh, like, we were looking at some wrestling stuff, and she saw some of the pictures of different things of the event in Central New York and in the Utica area for Immortal Wrestling, and she's like, oh, there's some there's a lot of people and some big people in small spaces. It's like, I said, wrestling fans aren't known for their hygiene and being, very well kept. I said I was probably, next to Triple D, who's in a suit and everything and looking pimp. I was probably the second best dressed person in a nice polo and some golf shorts and a hat and American flag socks. I said I was probably the second best dressed person there. So I said, I got the best tickets available for Ring of Honor. We're close to the front. We're not to the front because all the front's taken out. I will say this: tickets are not expensive for this. Front row is $55. For Ring of Honor, I think that's a very good place, even for a pay-per-view, to place your ticket prices there. Labrat, I would say yes, but no, because she doesn't like people. Not at all. Shout out to Up, Up, Down, Down. It's for Wild Bill's Soda. It's a veteran-owned craft beverage soda company. They had this Contra Code mug. Sometimes they have deals where you can get a case of like craft soda, root beer, especially for me, and then you get a free mug out of it. This is my second mug that I've gotten from them. It's really great. But she's not a people person. So I got us kind of towards the end, probably like 2 rows back, closer towards the end, so that we're not near as many people, because she's not a people person. And look, I know I have that, right? The where is it? There we go. The Lance Archer title belt. I will not be taking that with me to Ring of Honor next week. It's already signed and everything. I don't need to take it. Always wear suits to the match. Look, I've got to get my suits tailored. Apparently I've lost a bit of weight and they don't fit anymore. They look like I look like I'm wearing Steve Harvey's suits because they're so big. I've got to see if a tailor can bring them in, because apparently I've lost enough weight to, I may have to just get new suits. I may have to find a place to get real cheap suits. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, like suits are great. They'd be fun. I need to, or maybe find some suits that are like a thinner material. Triple D, that dude has some suits. Let me tell you right now, that dude has some suits. It was fun to stay at his place. He gave me some Captain Picard soap that says "Make It Soap," and it's got like an Earl Grey tea smell to it. He was an incredible host. We had a great time. That was fun, and that dude has some suits. We were trying to figure out suits for, because we had a wedding before that we went to, because the couple ordered donuts from him for their dessert for the wedding. So we went to his donut shop and got the donuts, and then he was dressed in the suit and I was in the polo and the shorts before we went to Utica to go to production meetings and stuff. And so he was in a suit, he was sweating his ass off. Then he took his jacket off, and it was an afternoon outdoor wedding. But I think he went through 3 or 4 different suits. So, no, it looks like I'm wearing, though, Canada Spaceman. It looks like I'm wearing Paul Heyman's suit. Like, it's that. Yeah, it's that how much I've been done. But also, before I forget, because I have been meaning to do this, I meant to start the show with this. But ladies and gentlemen, a very important announcement, in case you didn't know, in case you weren't aware. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important day. July 20th, right? July 20th, 2024. It's special. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is the one, the only Colin Wysong's birthday. The man turns 40 today. So if you get a chance, go tell Colin Wysong happy birthday. So do that right now. Go tell him happy birthday. I'm doing it live right now. I'm telling him. I mean, I wrote on his page too. But yeah, um, go tell him happy birthday. It's his birthday. He's 40. So go do it. Go do it. Tell him happy birthday. Happy birthday, Colin. Hami Media Zone. I know he's been kind of chilling in the background, but Colin, you're not my kayfabe best friend. You are my wannabe. You're one of my many best friends. So happy birthday, Colin. So yeah, we all love you. Look, that's the one thing I did not do when it was Triple D is I did not get to smoke a cigar with him. That was something I was on the bucket list and I did not do. I'm a little upset about that, but anything. So maybe today I'll go get one of my cigars and have a cigar in honor of Colin and having him turning 40 and have a cigar on him. So one last thing I guess I want to talk about since Jimmy's not here. I guess I should message him. All right, there we go. I messaged him. We'll see what's going on there. But oh wow, I didn't realize it's been 2 months. It feels like it's longer. Sorry for your loss on your dog Molly. Revamped. Losing pets are the worst. And Media M5, that was tough as well. Shout out to Mikey. I can't believe it's been 2 months for both of them already. It feels that. All right. So one other thing I want to talk about, and you guys are going to have to help me carry this because I was relying on Jimmy. I don't know. All right. So Cody Rhodes has surpassed 100 days as champ, as WWE champ. How do you feel about Cody Rhodes' first 100 days? Now, let me give you context in this, right? Okay. Not only just story, but here's the thing. Wrestling business, since Cody has been champ, is up 70%. WWE business is up 70% since Cody has been champ. Cody, I believe now, Cody, Rhea, and a few others, you can download their skins in like Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, one of the games that are there. The business is up. Right now, there was an article that came out, I think in 2022, that said 60% of people could name a wrestler or tell you the name of a wrestler. I think, I feel like that there's a lot, that has been done. Not to say that Roman didn't open doors for a lot of things, but I feel like Cody gives even that next step forward. And yeah, look, I love two guys. And Sonic says that Cody's first 100 days is boring. That's interesting, right? And as we're dealing with the presidency, and we always talk about the first 100 days as a president and what they've done. I think what we put all this pressure on people, right, to come out the gate and be right, and but here's the thing, right? If you want to build something, you've got to build a foundation, and building a foundation isn't overnight, right? You've got to make sure everything's level. You got to make sure the spot is prepared before you even lay the concrete. You got to tamp down the dirt. You got to make it level. You got to make sure everything's there. You got to put in your rebar. You got to put in your other things to ensure your foundation is going to be safe and secure. I think that we want so much instant gratification that we have to build story. And look, it's still a bloodline story with Cody as champ. Right now we have Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu. If you believe the rumors are true, Hikuleo is in getting ready to join everybody. We have all these things coming, right, to build this story. And at first it was, hey, we got to get here. We've got to establish this new bloodline. with this new champ and get them to where we need to. I think he's. I think that Cody's done a great job. He's a great ambassador. Apparently, he's doing John Cena level Make-A-Wishes and meet and greets and things along those lines. He's out and about. He's doing great interviews. He dresses the part. He looks the part of a champ with the suits and everything. I really feel like he's good, and I feel like we're taking time. We're not rushing things. I get what you're saying, that it's boring. He ain't losing to the Rockets back, maybe, or Roman, or whatever we do, whatever we say. It could be like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Roman comes back, and Solo is Roman's enemy, and it's like, look, when this is over, I'm coming for that title, but for now, we need to work together to take care of this menace, which is Solo Sikoa and his crew. Yeah, cold-blooded. I think he's doing good, but I think it is a tough spot. How do you follow an epic 3+ year title run? It's kind of like the idea of when, you've had a CEO or a leader of someplace and they've been there for a very long time. You either need to bring someone just as epic to take over, or that person who follows is going to be the slaughtered lamb, right? That everybody shits on. You see that with quarterbacks in the NFL. They either have to be just as epic or people shit on them right away. And I don't think it's Cody's fault, but I look at the business and I look at the man, right? I think what we need, right? What we've needed is we've had 3+ years as a heel, right? Everybody says Roman's a sweet man and everything on those lines, but with Cody, we're able to see that. Now, granted, a lot of us feel like Cody's fake and we don't like it, but you can't be fake if you're doing John Cena level meet and greets. You have the crowd's attention. You feel like you make it feel like you're a man of the people. You connect with the crowd, the pops that he gets, the noise that it makes when he walks out. He's making the most of what's prepared for him, and then he's taking and running with it. That's the best you can do, right? He's cooking with what's available to him, right? That's what he has to do. And I think, the matches that he's had have been solid. Cody's always been a solid wrestler, a solid 3-5, every now and then a 4.0 wrestler. But where he makes up for it is his out-ring stick work and his connection with people. So that's the case, right? I think that's the difference. Is Cody, his in-ring is fine, but it's his connection with people, business aspect, everything along those lines, I think is good. I don't know, but that's me. I see these things. I read up on the business aspect of it. I see that Cody is doing the same things. I don't know. I would rather see Stardust. Lab Rat, bro, that's just dirty. That's just dirty. But I think that's the great thing about having these benchmarks, like 100 days, and we can look back at the 100 days and from WrestleMania till now and go, oh, okay. This is what it is. We can see the direction now. We can, this is what we're going on. So I don't know. Like I just saw that this week that it was going to be his 100 days. And I thought it's a good benchmark for us to look at. He's just getting started. He's just beginning with what he's going on. And so we'll also talk belts and other stuff here because, we're at 45 minutes in. You say that, Lab Rat, but I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like he's separated himself enough. I think there's an homage to Dusty without it being like, oh, I'm Dusty's son. I think he's done a good enough job of establishing himself as a person with a touch of Cody's son, in all those lines. And look, I don't disagree with you, Sonic. Stardust helped Cody come out of his shell and cut loose. He didn't do the most of the flying moves he does now until it became Stardust. And I don't disagree with you. that he opened up more. I felt like when I met him when he was doing his Ring of Honor run, that he was more personable and more open. Now, granted, he hated Stardust, right? But I think he took some things from it and he helped build who he is now based off of that. There's bits of Stardust there, right? So I don't know. True, but I mean, it's a dog, right? Pharaoh, Pharaoh deserved it. Pharaoh's a dog. Pharaoh's a good dog, right? So what can I say? All right, well, that was a fun first 46 minutes. So let's talk last night. I know we have to. We're contractually obligated because we're called the Smack Attack. So can we get away with doing a Smack Attack show without talking SmackDown? I mean, we could talk it like really, really quick, but we got to do it. So last night, SmackDown, one other thing, right? So SmackDown, USA, Friday nights, Monday nights, Raw on Netflix Live, right? January comes, that's going to be the split. Raw will be more mature. SmackDown will be family friendly. What do you guys think about that? Having a show that's going to be for mature audiences versus another show which will be family friendly. I mean, I think that's an interesting concept, right? Because, for your brand, for WWE, you have SmackDown, which is going to be on, which will be on the USA Network on Friday nights. And then on Monday, you have Raw, which will be on Netflix. And they have already said it will be for mature audiences. Do you feel like that is good programming? Do you guys feel like it's going to be something, that will go from there? I don't know. Candace Spaceman, WWE tapped the second episode of Friday Night SmackDown on July 19th from Ohana Wrestling that will air on July 26th. Do you know why they taped it, Candace Spaceman? Because I don't know of anything next week unless they taped it because of the Ring of Honor show. But that wouldn't be the case because Summer Slam isn't until much later. There's nothing going on next week that I know of. Unless maybe the convention, the Democratic convention. I don't know. Yeah, right. We're going to get live sex celebration too. Hell yeah, right. I think that's interesting to say the least, right? To have a show that is going to be for mature audiences where you can say shit, ass, fuck. And, yeah, right. Uncut, uncooked, uncensored again. Well, I think Lab Rat with two different programs, how's it going to work with crossover? Or are they just going to do ROH AEW? I think what's going to happen is, if there is crossover, you're going to have to remind talent who are normally on Raw that you can do whatever you want. You can't do that here. And vice versa, that SmackDown, milk toasts when they go over to Raw, they'll have to, hey, you can kind of cut loose. But I think, remember, it's pay-per-view. The pay-per-views are going to be uncensored, right? That's going to be the thing. I like what you did there. Raw gets Raw, but I think really it'll be January because USA will still have Raw until January, from what I read. January is when the official handover to Netflix will be, and so technically USA will have SmackDown and Raw starting in October, I believe, until January when it switches over to Netflix. But I think it should be interesting to say the least. I mean, we're seeing a little bit more edgy programming on TV in general from WWE. So I find that interesting as well. I think it's just an interesting time for WWE as they go forward with this future relationship, because then now, with Raw being on Netflix, numbers don't matter. because it's subscription rates. I'll be interested to see if this Netflix subscriptions increase so that people watch Raw, or Netflix just goes, yeah, no, that's fine. We'll pay you another $5 billion. Like the way the deal is structured, after a certain point in time, we can renew the deal for this much more billions of dollars, or we can just keep it and you finish out your contract. And then you're shopping for another place to put Raw again. And then do you go to another streaming network where you decide, oh, that didn't work, so let's do something else. I think it's a fascinating time, but I like the idea of two different programmings. And then you have your pay-per-views, and it'll be like, oh, yeah, we can kind of do whatever we want. Because at the end of the day, with Raw being what it is, and with it being called Raw, when I think Raw, you think of wrestling and you think of Eddie Murphy, right? Eddie Murphy's Raw. Oh, maybe the Olympics start next week? Yeah, right, Canada Spaceman? Yeah, USA. I have on my USA pants, too. Here, let me see if I can show you. Yeah, America. That worked. That's all you're getting today. So maybe that's what it is. Olympics, USA. So I think leading back into that is important, to say the least. If you're going to call your show Raw, you might as well be Raw, because Raw reminds us of Mondays in the 90s, in the late 90s, and Eddie Murphy, right? And if you don't know what Eddie Murphy Raw is, go watch it. It's pretty freaking hilarious. It's raunchy, but that's why it's called Raw. All right, let's talk last night's show. Let's see if we can burn through this. All right, last night, it was July 19th, 2024. SmackDown emanated from the CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska. So, hey, if something happened, they didn't have to go very far because they were already at a medical facility. Just joking. Last night on commentary was Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. WWE SmackDown, they had some clips from last week's show, which I never watched because I was traveling and I was hanging with Triple D. So I didn't see anything from last night's show, and I tried to watch last night's show, and it was like, okay. So then after the clips, Cody comes out, and he circles, and he greets Terrence Crawford, who's sitting ringside. Cool. Again, I don't care. Fans chant Cody. What do you want to talk about? Talks about Randy and how he's been a friend and a mentor. And they chant Randy, and he said he can't imagine the guilt of a man who has 5 children, a wife, and family. Imagine Cody's guilt when he watched the bloodline put Randy through a table. And he says family is not always blood, and he calls Randy family. His brother and if Randy were there too, he would not want to talk about guilt or shame, and said Cody would rather look at the camera and talk to the man responsible, Solo Sikoa. He said he looked Solo Sikoa in the eyes before WrestleMania 39, and he told him that Solo is not ready, and Solo paid him back by costing him the title he's holding, the title that they will compete for at Summer Slam. He also asked Solo how it feels knowing that Cody's still standing as champion. And then after this, we have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory come out with the microphones. Theory tells Cody that he spends a lot of time talking about the bloodline, and because of him, Jacob Fatu attacked him last week, and that his teeth are swollen. Cody says he thought his teeth were swollen because his partner kneed him in the face. Good call there. Waller says Cody is pushing the narrative, but the reason all of this happened because of Cody himself. Waller and Theory get to the ring, and Cody hits them with right hands and kicks. They end up attacking Cody and throwing him to the outside, and Terrence Crawford hands Cody Rhodes a chair. Cody gets in the ring and hits them with the chair and hits Theory with the disaster kick, and Theory falls to the outside. Cody's music hits, and he holds his championship belt in the air. Yay! So, and then I think because of this, we find out that our main event tonight is Cody Rhodes and a mystery partner versus Waller in Theory. So, and then after that, we cut backstage to Carmelo Hayes, and he's with the stylist. He says there are no gimmicks BS. He's going to be him and Andrade tonight. Okay, cool. So, and then we go to a commercial break. Yeah, look. Yeah, look, the reason why I read from this is because I watched the show last night. I agree with you, it was boring. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I was not very much enthralled with it, but it helps me remember some of the stuff that happened last night. The Waller and Theory story has been interesting. They have become an interesting team for me. I like this narrative that they're building, that Waller keeps screwing up Theory, but Theory keeps staying with him despite the things of everything that's going on. Lab rat, that was a good one. SmackDown was a smack snooze last night. I feel you. I may have nodded off once or twice during the show. So it was fine. Again, I don't like, me, I don't like talking segments. I don't like opening shows with talking segments and everything along this line. And this whole segment was a long talking segment. And yeah, cool. So after commercial break, come back and Cody bumps into Nick Aldis. Cody says it's easy. He wants to face both the knuckleheads tonight, and he needs a tag team partner because if he sends the undisputed champ against in a handicap match, he has to answer to the board. So this is the first instance where we have Nick Aldis mentioning the board and that he has to answer to them. And he says you have till the end of the night to find a tag team partner. So that was interesting. I think for me, the takeaway there that I found interesting was Nick Aldis mentioning the board. It was, I think that was the first reference to something like that on a show, especially with Nick Aldis. What are you doing, Jarvis? You want to go outside? Hang on, I gotta let Jarvis out. Apparently, he snuck in. Where you at, buddy? Hey, little buddy. Come here. Come here. All right, everybody. This is Jarvis. Say hi, Jarvis. Say hi, little buddy. All right. See, Jarvis is better than SmackDown. All right. Come on, little buddy. Let's go. Let you out. Ready? All right. Apparently Jarvis snuck in and he wanted out. I didn't realize he was in the room. So that's my little buddy Jarvis. He's the youngest of my two beagles. My other one's Jakar. Jakar, you could not pick up like that. He doesn't like it. Yeah, he's a good dude. So anyway, I found that interesting. Moving on, Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade. This was I don't know how I feel about this match. If I'm 100% honest, like I liked parts of it. And thank you for all the love for Jarvis. He's good. Andrade versus Carmelo. Again, I was interested in the match just because it's a matchup I haven't seen. If they did it in NXT, I didn't see it. I don't remember if they even crossed paths in NXT, if they were around the same time or not. But I did like this match because it was something different and something we haven't seen before. Hey, Sonic. It's my dog, so fuck off. But I love you, Sonic. Look, I'm that way with dogs too. Anytime I see a dog, look, the hardest is when you're at like the airport or out in public and someone has a service dog and if they got their working vest on, that's the hardest of, can I pet your dog? No, I can't pet your dog because your dog's working. And because the hard part is, so like here in Parker County, our Parker County Attorney's Office, to help victims of crime, we have a service dog for victims of crime. So, and that dog you could pet all day long, right? Like, and when East comes to our office or whatever, like East zones in on me, and I don't know if it's because like East knows that I'll give her lovings and everything, or like I don't have anything I think going wrong in my life, but like East like, but a lot of dogs will just be like, oh yeah. Like when I'm up at Triple D's place last week, they have a little tiny like Maltese, like little white fluffy thingy. I don't remember what it was. A lot of bark, no bite. Ruger is what they call him, and like barking, and I start petting, and I just picked up, and Doug's just like, oh, this is great. I just holding a little thing like that, and just petting, and everybody thought it was hilarious. So yeah, But yeah, like this match intrigued me, and I agree with you. Candace Spaceman Andrade was good, and I felt like Carmella was pretty good too, but I felt that it lacked a little bit of sizzle that I expected from this one because they're both really good performers. And I don't know. Like there were to me, I felt that um, I expected more from this, and it felt a little quick, right? Because we had the opening exchange, we go to a commercial break, and then we come back, and it's boom, 1, 2, 3, and we're done. Andrade hits him with the message, and he goes for the cover and the pin, 1, 2, 3, and he gets the win. I expected more from this, and it felt a little too rushed and fast paced, and these guys didn't get to really tell a story. And this is a match I really wanted to see, and I was hoping they were going to give more time to, especially considering some of the matches they gave more time to later. I don't know. This just didn't work for me. Dog. It was interesting. It was fun. It was fine, but I wanted to see something more, and they didn't get that. So after this match, we see a clip of last week's show involving Bayley, Tiffany Stratton, and Nia Jax and Mission, because we're still carrying that story. Then we go to a commercial break, and then we come back for women's champion Bayley and Nia Jax have a sit-down interview with both women in separate rooms. Corey Graves tries to ask a question, and Nia tells Corey to feel sorry for Bayley because at SummerSlam, she would put her down like an old sick dog. And Bayley says Nia has not changed, and Nia says that she has. She is her queen of the ring, and Bayley tells her that Nia is the same heartless woman since day one, and she walks around like she owns the place. She's the same Nia who took her out of her SummerSlam match in 2017 that changed the trajectory of her career. Nia hurt her because she's big, clumsy, and reckless. Look, I will say this. Tonight was the night of truths, right? And just speaking on like almost reality. Which I kind of like. I kind of like this because if this is real life, right? Sometimes life is more entertaining than make believe. And Nia has been accused of being big, dumb, and clumsy. She's improved, right? But I kind of like that we're still leaning into this kind of a little bit and calling her that. And then Nia tells Bayley she's content being her queen because she's the queen of the division. She's coming for the title. And she wants to take it off of her. And then Bayley tells her that she has bad news, which I found hilarious because Wade Barrett's right there. And she goes, I've changed too because I'll still walk in and out as champion. And Nia asks if it's done and rips her earpiece out and walks away. So, yeah. Okay. Talkie. It's whatever. Interested to say the least, because we have Nia, who's queen of the ring, who gets the title shot. And we've got Tiffy, who's got the, suitcase, which, will be interesting to say the least. Okay. So is it going to be that Bayley beats Nia at SummerSlam and then Tiffy beats Bayley right after I cash in? Who knows? So we cut to earlier in the night where Bianca and Jade are about to walk into the office of Nick Aldis, but are stopped by Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Both teams argue, and Bianca says their talk can wait because Chelsea Green's getting on her nerves, and she challenged her to a match. Cool. So yay! We've got a match now with Chelsea Green versus Bianca. So excited about that. So we got Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green and Piper. Yeah. This was interesting because it was a minute, maybe 45 seconds. Like, I think I looked down at my phone for a minute and then I heard the bell ring. And it was like 1, 2, 3, 1, way to go. And because it was like, hey, we're just gonna like, I'm gonna try my unprettier, and then I'm gonna German suplex, and I'm gonna go for a moonsault, and I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go for a big boot. I'm gonna grab you by the leg. I'm gonna go for a KOD. I block it. I'm gonna roll you up, and then I'm gonna reverse that roll up. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Like, it was okay, that was it. And so Piper never gets in the ring after, and so does Jade Cargill. Chelsea grabs Niven and they leave the ring. And then the LED screens and the women's tag champions, the Unholy Union, the Witches 3 or 2, whatever the Witches are telling Bianca and Jade they will get a glimpse of their titles next week, but when it comes to a rematch, they'll see. Yeah. This is my problem with them losing the belts, because now we haven't seen the Witches with the belts from what I can recall since the last pay-per-view. Okay, cool. The Mighty Roll wins again. Yeah. I don't blame you, Canada Spaceman, because it was super quick. It was a minute, maybe. So the Mighty Roll Up is undefeated. So after this, cool, we go to commercial break. We have Nick Aldis standing in the ring holding a contract, and he says his responsibility to deliver the biggest, best matches that can for SummerSlam. And he says the contract is already signed by himself and LA Knight. So all that's missing is a signature from Logan Paul, and he introduces LA Knight. And then he introduces Logan Paul, and people are chanting for LA Knight. Logan Paul looks at the contract and he says, why would they give this hillbilly Aladdin a shot for the United States Championship? This is I'm not a big promo guy. I'm not a big contract signing guy. I know they're trying to do something different. There was no tables to put something through. The contract is already signed. All we need to do is Logan Paul. Right. And he says, I've beaten you. LA Knight says, I own you. Yeah. He took matters into his hands. He went to his house and got a Money in the Bank qualifying match, and he'd do it again, and all these kind of things. And then Logan comes on, so he says he sounds pathetic. He tells LA Knight that LA Knight needs this match against him because Logan does not need the match, and that is a fact. They're not the same, which that is a fact. Facts of life. LA Knight, Eli Drake, yeah. A difference is that LA Knight's existence is defined by what he does in the ring, but not him. Outside of the ring, he interviews former presidents, building a family, and his brother are building a legacy. Logan says what LA Knight does in the ring is important, and he's like a bodybuilder with a catchphrase stick but he has a problem that LA Knight, he wants accolades, but it's not him. LA Knight wants to be a champion, but he's not him. And LA Knight has not had a single defining moment in the last 20 years. And he says LA Knight is pretending to be The Rock. And LA Knight says he's never heard that before. Leave it to Logan to use old material. LA Knight talks about frauds. He says Logan is a fraud by pretending to be the United States champion. Meanwhile, he won't sign a contract. LA Knight says Logan's brothers wanted to jump in the ring with Mike Tyson, but Logan doesn't have the balls to jump in the ring with him, and balls must not run the family. He says if they want a match, they will sign a contract. He signs a contract, and after he beats LA Knight at SummerSlam, he'll have nothing. Logan draws a map on the contract, tells LA Knight a map where he can stick his dreams of becoming a WWE champion. Both men are face to face, and all the stands between the fans chant LA Knight, and Logan leaves the ring. Logan turns his back. Logan gets back in the ring and attacks LA Knight. And he goes for a right hand, but LA Knight blocks it, goes for the BFT, but Logan escapes. And I think during this promo, too, at one point, I don't remember when, Logan Paul calls him Sean, calls LA Knight Sean because that's his real name, Sean Rucker. Interesting promo, to say the least. Yeah. Hello, Sophane. Good to see you. Glad you were here. Oh, that's on my Twitch channel. Thanks for joining me. Glad you're here talking wrestling with us. So if ever there's an issue with Tommy Media Group, you can go to Twitch. You can find Jay Reezy Men there, and we will broadcast the show there. Just saying. I agree with you, Cold Blooded. Sometimes it felt like Knight rambled and didn't really say anything. And I think Candice Spaceman, I agree. Logan Paul was good. I didn't hate him. I think he, yeah. And I did like that, right? Candice Spaceman was good comeback when LA Knight said Logan's brother can fight, but he was afraid to fight him. Right? He's going to go against Mike Tyson, but you can't fight me, kind of deal. It's good. This is, again, this is one of those ones where, like, I sort of paid attention to it. It was fine, but I don't know. Thank you, Sonic. Appreciate it. For blessing me with the mind to mind of Jesse. Good. No, hold me down. Souped up homeboy from the hometown. No, it's such. And this is the beat. Can't touch. Yeah, sneezing is fun. Why is sneezing, like, for me? I don't know about anybody else, but when you sneeze, do you find it satisfying? I do. I don't know why. It's me. Okay, so after this in-ring segment, we have a video package of Tiffany winning the Money in the Bank match and being this typical blonde-haired Hollywood Beverly Hills type. And then in the arena, she comes with Nia Jax out. And then LA Knight is backstage. She stopped by Santos Escobar, Electra Lopez. Escobar says he was in the match where LA Knight pinned Logan Paul, but he was not pinned. LA Knight says SummerSlam is in a few weeks, and he might have some free time if he wants to get in touch with him. His mother has his number. Escobar tells him if he wants to squander his opportunity for SummerSlam match, he will be happy to help. Look, that was actually kind of funny. You cracked me up. Your mom has my number. I always love a good your mama joke. Your mama's so fat her belt size is equator. Your mama's so fat that she has to iron her pants on the driveway. I don't know. Cold-blooded. I don't know what's going on with the crowd during Tiffany's entrance. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't paying that much attention. So we have Tiffany Stratton with Nia Jax versus Mishin. Here's my question, right? Here's my question. Tiffany Stratton's just won the Money in the Bank belt or Money in the Bank suitcase. You have a match, like Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax are buddy now for the fact that, oh, I've got this title shot first. You don't want to cash in on me. I mean, you can if you want, but whatever. I don't care if you win or not. But now they're buddy. Hey, if you cash in and beat Bayley, I'm still going to beat your ass. But now it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to help you as you go out because Mishin has interfered with me and with you. So let me do that. One, it felt like this match was longer than the Andrade Carmelo match, which I find a little, I don't know, weird to say the least. We got a commercial break. We come back. And then Mishin looks like she's going to lose. But then Bayley comes in, hits Nia with Money Bank briefcase. And she breaks Tiffany's briefcase and stomps on it. Mishin rolls up Tiffy from behind and gets the pin 1, 2, 3. So we've got Tiffy Stratton. Has the suitcase. Doesn't use it like most heels do. Bayley uses it to keep Nia Jax from interfering. And Mishin gets the roll up 1, 2, 3 win. Why? I don't know. Bayley has the briefcase, which is broken, and Mishin hugs Bayley on the outside of the ring, and Bayley throws the briefcase back in the ring. And that's the end of that part of the show. I don't know. Like, are we, because, I mean, they're not going to have a tag match, right, at SummerSlam. It's Bayley versus Nia at SummerSlam as of right now. So until we get to SummerSlam, are we going to do what we're building up, where we're going to have Bayley and Mishin versus Nia and Tiffy in a tag match? Right? Okay, I guess, right? For the main event, we had a good laugh. True, but like, maybe? None of this makes sense. Like, how is it that you have Tiffy go and do this ladder match and put on a performance and wins the Money in the Bank briefcase? And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's times where I say WWE is good, but I don't know. This one leaves me my head scratching. But here's the thing about WWE, right? Let's be honest. Yeah. I don't care what mission means. But here's my question, right? I mean, I'm trying to understand this. Like I really am. I just don't know. But WWE does a great job sometimes of telling you a story and you don't know where it's going, and then it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. I see what's going on. Sometimes you have to let things cook. I don't know. Sometimes we're quick to jump on things. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I maybe we have to let things cook. I don't know. Should be fine. Anyway, so then we have a Bloodline promo. Solo sitting at the head of the table and talks about what they did to Randy and who will step up with Cody Rhodes tonight. If you are with Cody, you're against him, his family, the Bloodline, and the Tribal Chief. And it's Solo in a dark room with Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu standing behind them and being all menacing. And Cody Rhodes is walking backstage, and Kevin Owens comes into the picture. He asks Cody if he's ready, and Kevin's music hits. Owen walks down to the ring. I love these one shots they do where it's continuous one shot and through the gorilla and into. I like that a lot. There were some great camera angles tonight. I really enjoyed some of the stuff. And then we had the match of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens versus A-Town Down Under. And, fine match. Nothing outstanding or anything like those lines, but it was fine. Cody and Kevin get the win. Again, we had the, I think at one point Waller hits Theory on accident. And then we have the 1, 2, 3 for the win, and then out come the Bloodline after the match, and Cody goes to the suicide dive on Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, and Owen beats up on Tonga Loa, but then they grab Solo and about to slam him through the table, but then out comes Jacob Fatu, goes Cody into the ring steps and hits Owens with a super kick. Tonga Loa and Solo grab Cody and make him watch as Fatu places Owens in the bottom corner and runs from the corner to the other and slamming into Owens. A big splash by Jacob Fatu. They beat him up, and they're going to take him out as well. Tama Tonga places a chair on Kevin's head, and he throws him headfirst into the ring post. Bloodline raise their hands and fingers in the air. SmackDown goes off the air. Did we expect anything other than this? Was there any anticipation? I don't know. It was a show. I'm going to be honest. It was a show. I had nothing going on. Ashley is in San Antonio for drill this weekend. She's been there since Wednesday. And then she goes to Corpus for work next week. So I was just changing sheets, doing laundry there, getting some stuff done around the house, cooking. There wasn't much in the show that intrigued me or made me want to I don't know. It was whatever. All right, so it's time to rank this show. Let's talk this show. Let's rank it. Customary letter grade for the show. So if you have a letter grade for this show, you watched it last night, you spent time watching the show, A, B, C, D, E, or A, B, C, D, or F. How would you grade this show last night? I'm going to give you guys a chance to put in your letter grade for the show last night and see what you have to say, because I have thoughts, as I always do. because I guess Jimmy's not coming. So, which is fine. E or F. Canada Spaceman. I don't disagree with you. That's it. That's a good letter grade. Anybody else have a letter grade for last night? Well, we're waiting. Canada's a Spaceman. I think you were the only one who watched last night. So, I am going to go with a D minus, because like an F is like you couldn't even barely put on a show, right? You got the show on. You still had basic good camera angles. You still had a few other things. But there was nothing. Or Z. Lab Rat. Yeah. Z. Like a Z or a Z. I did. I walked away and made food in the kitchen. I had some spicy chicken bites with some ranch flavored potato wedges. Thank God for an air fryer. I did it 350 for 7 minutes, and I need a little bit more, so I did 350 for 7 minutes again. It was just perfect. Had a nice little kick to it, not too spicy, not like I like spice, but yeah, that was part of my dinner. And so I was in and out. And I think by 8:15 or so, I finally sat down with dinner and said, "Here we go. Let's watch. Let's do this." So the first half of the show, I really wasn't paying attention because there's nothing that intrigued me. I was listening, and I could kind of peek through the kitchen window hole to the living and dining area where the TV is, and I could kind of see what was going on, but wasn't much there for me. It ain't it, pal. So yeah, that was it. I don't know. I've got to go D minus for me. I don't know. Kind of glad I'm not watching next week. No, Canada Spaceman. It is not. It's not. It uses convection cooking. Think about it. I have a Ninja air fryer, but mine is the toaster oven variety style. It's not like the basket that you see with the things. It's multifunction. So, I like it for me because it's versatile. So if I'm cooking something just for me, if I just want to use the oven option, like the bake option on it, I'm not having to heat up my entire oven and wait a good 20 minutes. Even just for the bake option, it's still, really easy, and it doesn't take long, and it kicks in, and it's really good. The air frying option is more of a convection oven style. It's not really frying per se, but it cooks food a little bit faster and quicker and more thoroughly that way. And I'm not having to turn on my entire oven to do it. It's just tabletop. It flips down. I can use it for a toaster, so I could put my toast in there, and I can set the settings. I could toast, toast or bagels in there. I just like the functionality of it. It's got like 7 different options for it. I use air frying, baking, and I use the toast options for me. You can set the time and temperature. It lets you know. It cuts off. Mine has a little like basket and then a crumb tray. And then if you want to, you can do like put stuff there and take the crumb tray and the basket out, and then just have the rack and do that. I like mine. It's great. I enjoy it very much. Especially if I'm cooking stuff like, oh, I need to cook this here, but then I could cook my oven stuff in there as well. Yeah. It's a good option, especially for me, because a lot of times I like it because a lot of times it's maybe just me or me and Jacob, right? So there's only 2 of us in the house. So if we're cooking something, it's a good way for us to cook something. If we're cooking different things, we can go for that. Obviously, there's a size limitation. So I can't cook a pizza in there or anything along those lines. I still have to use the oven for that, but it's good. And speaking of pizza, Zane Vicious says we need to try Pizza Hut's Tavern pizzas. Look, I love a good thin crust tavern pizza style pizza. I'm not Dave Portnoy in that. It's every now and then I kind of like it, but They're pretty good. I'm interested to see how they compare to some of the other thin crust tavern style pizzas that I've had. But look, Pizza Hut, it's good. You can't complain about Pizza Hut. There are times I like that thin crust, crackery crust style pizza. And there are times I want a little bit more. That's one thing I can say about Pizza Hut, right? You can have that. But their thin crust wasn't bad. I liked Pizza Hut's thin crust. You can have the personal pan, you can have hand tossed, you can have stuffed crust, all those kind of things. So yeah, man. Candace Spaceman, look into it. It's a healthier way of cooking or even reheating food or warming up stuff. So sometimes if I'm going to reheat something, I put it in there real quick and I go that route rather than use the microwave, because that's a better option for everybody in that aspect of it. So I don't have anything else unless you guys have something else. What do you want to talk about? Unless there's anything else that y'all want to talk about that maybe I missed or anything along those lines, I can't think of anything else. But I'd love for y'all to join us or present a topic or a thing that y'all want to talk about. Doesn't have to be wrestling related. It can be whatever, because we don't talk wrestling here all the time. We talk other fun stuff. I think Candace Spaceman, I think somebody mentioned that SmackDown was taped again last night because of the it could be the Japan thing, or it could be the Olympics, right? When do the Olympics start? I think they're starting soon. Okay. So it could be for the Olympics, because the Olympic Games in Paris start on July 26th, so next Friday, right? And it's on NBC. So there you go. So that's probably a major reason why. Hey, we know we're going to get hammered because of the Paris Olympics. So let's just put a recorded show on here. So great. We're going to have a recorded show next week because of the Olympics. Looking forward to that. So it really means that I'm not missing anything by going to the Ring of Honor show next week. So cool. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about today before we head out of here? Before we make like a tree and leave? So, no. Bueller. No. No. Dang, bro. Yeah, if you're not following Zane Vicious on Twitter, go follow the man. He's fucking great. Go follow him. Do that. Look, go follow Canada Spaceman. Go holla. Go follow Cold Blooded Sonic the Hedge Rat. Sophie Ann. Go follow. Who else has been in the chat today? I'm doing this Lab Rat. I'm using this as everybody who's been here today. Revamped Wrestling. Go follow them on Twitter. And thanks for being here today as well. CWM McDonald. Go follow them. That was, I think, everybody in the chat today. So thanks for being here. Boo. Candace Spaceman doesn't have Twitter. Jimmy has jet lag. No, we've already said because of CloudStrike, his AI is stuck in the cloud. He can't download it because of CloudStrike. CloudStrike has hit again because Jimmy is an AI construct and Australia isn't real. So therefore, Jimmy can't make it because of CloudStrike and the new updates. So He's gonna say it with his camera, or he's gonna say something, which was funny because I texted him yesterday. I was like, "Hey, bro, we good for today?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay," because I want to talk about Cody's first 100 days. Like, okay, cool. He must have forgotten that we meet at 10 in Central Time. So, it was global, Canada Spaceman. The Microsoft blackout, Chris got Jimmy probably so. It was global. It shut down American, like globally, and not just United States based. It was a global, global blackout error that went across the whole world from into Microsoft. So, but Labrat says the kangaroos got Jimmy, and there you go. Go follow Zane Vicious Goat. It's at Zane Vicious Goat right there on Twitter. Follow him there. And you can go follow me right here on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at JReezyMen. You can see what all I'm doing and what I'm talking about there. Don't forget to follow the Humming Media Group. Join us on the Facebook page where you can hear all the things. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, I think. And, of course, all the different people there. The Humming Media Group podcast channel where maybe the Academy might be coming back. Just saying. This weekend was a big step towards that. So we might start having the Academy again, talking Star Trek and all that fun stuff in between. And then also, of course, make sure you're following and listening to Channel Attitude and signing up for that. It's only $5 a month. $5 a month gets you access to some of the best wrestling talk on the planet, where you have guys like Vince Russo, Big Vito, you have Big Ray. We got a lot of bigs. We have Ben Hameen, Big Stevie Cool. There's another big. And of course myself and Jimmy and the Vet and all those people in and around the internets who are wonderful hosts, have great shows. Don't forget Brandon. Brandon is fucking awesome. He does the live stuff now where he's following along. And then, of course, they have the Impact Attack, which cooking right now. Impact is cooking. One of the people I did get to meet this weekend who was super cool and backstage was Steve Macklin. Dude is fucking cool. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm a fan. You might not like his character or whatever, but the guy he fucking loves wrestling, and he is a teacher, and he watched every match. He watched the opening match all the way to the end until his match, and he came back, got changed real quick, shared a beer with him. That was a lot of fun. Me and Triple D, I don't drink, obviously, but we got him some beers. We got beers for Mike. Shout out to Mike of Immortal Wrestling. Thank you for allowing me backstage and being a part of your show and being on there. I got to actually produce a little bit, which is fun, for the Edge of Hope. They're a faction at Immortal Wrestling. Super cool. Make sure you check those guys out. They had a segment because that show last week was like a pay-per-view. And so helped kind of scout a spot for them and give a little bit of direction. Me and Triple D kind of produced that a little bit for them and helped them out. So that was fun. Had a good time with that backstage, but shout out to Mike. Thank you over at Immortal Championship Wrestling for allowing me backstage. And Steve Macklin was fucking cool. I mean, guys would ask him and he was honest, but kind. And he was super nice to me and everything along those lines. And Minoru Suzuki is still fucking cool. At 56 years old, still fucking cool. Super good, super nice man, and still very funny. Came in and he asked them where he could take a nap. They found a place for him, and then apparently the production meeting woke up his nap, and a lot of the guys in production were a little scared because you woke up Minoru Suzuki from his nap having a production meeting. I would not want to be on the end of that at all. But great time, good night, a lot of fun. Thanks Triple D again for hosting me, and Mike at Immortal Championship Wrestling. Steve Macklin, super cool guy. Yeah, watch the TNA pay-per-view tonight. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, again, Channel Attitude, great channel. Thank you, Vince Russo, for having us, Ben Hameen, and for allowing Smack Attack and myself to be a little slice of Channel Attitude. Make sure you're going there. You can go back and listen to some great episodes that you may have missed, or maybe you're wondering when I reference Jamie MacGyver, who that is, and James, or what was it like before I was even on this show, where you had James and then damn it, Joe, where you had James and Joe, two British boys talking Smack Attack, and then before that, Big Ray being a part of the show, all that stuff. I think you can listen all the way back to the beginning there of the origins of Smack Attack and where it's come from and where it's going. And look, I got a new mic stand because my mic had broke. So see, I got a solid one now. So I look professional, even though I have a snowball. Look, I think it's great. I don't need a condenser mic. I have a snowball. I've had a snowball for years now since I've started podcasting. I feel like it's great. Don't need anything extra. I'm not doing anything crazy or any voiceovers. No need to pay $100 and something for a mic. If I do get the next mic, I might get another Yeti. I might go the next step up. One of the whatchamacallits. But anyway, that's nerd talk. We're not here for that. We're here to talk wrestling. But thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great week. We hope to see you again next week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Collision. Give Jimmy a hard time for not being here today, right? Collision's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. After the Collision, they sift through the wreckage. So make sure you're checking out Wreckage next week or tomorrow at 10 a.m. With Jimmy. And give him a hard time for not being here today. Tell him, fuck off, you wanker, and all that fun stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here as always. Even when Jimmy's not here, you guys help make the show what it is. So thank you for being here. We hope that you take this week, you go in, you kick ass, and you stick this week, and that you go in and we hope to talk to you again next week. Later, everybody.